Hey Sherman, how you doing? This is great. I mean, I love being out here and just sharing all the learnings that we have from the 30,000 plus partners that we work with here at Skykick. Yeah, I'm Aditya Mohan. You can look me up on the LinkedIn. That'll tell you, how many jobs I've been successful at and the ones I haven't been. But one thing I've always been successful at is actually interacting and helping, provide guidance to some of our partners around how they can be successful and, strategies from a customer acquisition perspective, not just sales strategies, but also marketing strategies. That's why I have the Alliance Marketing in my name out here. So thanks again for having me. Just by way of, quick introduction on, what we do at Skykick, right? We basically provide a platform for MSPs to be able to make their customers successful along their cloud journey, right? We started out, around 10 years ago with a migration product, which helped, customers on the on-premises move to the cloud, and, again, evolve that into a recurring revenue model so that partners can actually start seeing the ongoing, fruits of their labor, right? And then we have recently, evolved into a couple of new product lines. One of them is around managing the customer relationship and on an ongoing basis, which means securing the SaaS and the PaaS and all the four-letter acronyms that are out there. But really the product we are most excited about right now is the Security Manager product. And we'll talk about it as we go through this, but basically, the crux of it is around providing tools and capabilities for partners to be able to provide the customers the peace of mind that they need, as all these security things are rampant out there.
So Aditya, you and I were talking about this earlier, and I really love this idea of this term called play it right. Would you mind, kind of describing that and how you see it? And I think there's a slide that's coming up to show visually these great ideas.
Yeah, I figured, people are going to be sick of watching me. I figured I should show some slides, right? So you can remember this visually. But yeah, I think, the play it right is critical in the sense that at the end of the day, you need to figure out how are you managing your cloud business, right? How are you evolving with the times? And is there a need to re-engineer that based on the trends in the society and in the market? Right. So for instance, again, you got to figure out, what's happening in technology. It's evolving. Every day there's a new product out there. And how do you adopt the right technologies based on what the customer needs are? And how do you get to market in a timely manner before your competition is out there in front of you? Okay, now I have my baseline in place. How do I drive the acquisition and how do I actually drive upsell as part of it, right? As you can see that, acquiring new customers and increasing revenue with the existing customers are really the two key areas that most of the partners are focused on today. One of the things that, we have done as part of our Security Manager product, for instance, is that we provide, a one-time assessment that the MSPs can go ahead and run with their customers. Again, that's when really the rubber hits the road, right? You go through an assessment, you figure out what their gaps are, and then you prioritize what are the areas that you need to focus on to be able to get them from point A to point B, right? No one's going to get to the nirvana land right away. They have to go through a journey. And then finally, that relationship or that credibility that you're built in really should translate into you now offering them a package of services which are actually going to make sure that they are well protected, they have got complete coverage, and at the same time they can focus on what they do best, which is productivity, as opposed to worrying about the overhead of security or other risks they might have.
So the very first thing we're going to do here is we need to organize. We really need to figure out, who are we targeting? Why are we targeting? And we need to stop doing this whole thing of, it's called the shotgun approach. Because what you really need to do, and this is your pro tip number one to actually write down, is you need to build a list, okay, that has maybe between 40 and 100 potential targets. Pro tip number two, marketing. Now, we know that the majority of our partner base in the US spend between 1% to 3% of their gross revenue on marketing. Okay, so let's just understand this. Marketing, so important. You need to increase your spend probably between 12 and 15, maybe even 20% if you're going to go to a net new customer acquisition model. You have to be committed to it. You can't start and stop. That's another thing that we see in here, starting and stopping, or, okay, I'm going to do this for a month and see if I get some deals. That's not how this works. Net new customer acquisition is one of the hardest things, but if you understand the consistent nature that you need to do to get it in, and knowing how persistence is, then you can really build a machine that is consistent every single month. Okay, now your next pro tip here is divide by 3. Current customers for referrals. Now this is for net new customer acquisition, okay? Your current customers for referrals. So you're gonna go to all your customers and say, hey, who do you know that I could talk? And actually you're gonna say this, whom do you know I should reach out to that could benefit from what we do? You like us. And the reason why you're saying, you're putting the M on it, because it's assumptive that they will tell you. And then the third piece that you're gonna have is the cold outreach. Now that's the tough part, but we have some commitments to help you do that. So this is where the controversy comes in, because you might think I'm a little nuts, okay? But what we do is we build a dossier on every client that we're looking to try to go out to. And what I mean by that is we have a folder, okay, for every single client. Now inside that dossier, we include the summary of what the company does, the technology that they consume, what differentiates them from their competitors. We read their 10K if they have one. We understand everything that's about them, and we're building a case of really understanding.
We started the company in 2011, and we are a custom development firm. We were recently acquired by another larger company specialized in the energy and construction industries. And so that's kind of our industry focus now, but we are a custom development and business process efficiency firm. So we're looking to help companies utilize the technologies they've already got and in-house, and helping them build new solutions to kind of close those gaps. In the Microsoft stack, we're doing that with Power Platform. So that's kind of us in a nutshell.
Are there particular industries or market segments that you found a lot more success in acquiring net new customers? And then, if that's the case, how have you tailored your sales strategies to target those specific segments?
Yeah, and this is one of my favorite questions, at least for us as a custom development shop. It's for every industry. But at the same time, you do need to be focused on. It's helpful for you as a both a sales group and for execution to have experience with the processes and the terminology and everything within that industry.
So you track that. I mean, what are you doing to evaluate the effectiveness of your sales strategies for customer net new acquisition?
Some might say I go a little overboard. As a data guy and a Power BI background, I've built myself too many dashboards and thrown away several of them in favor of the next new one. Yeah, at the end of the day, I want to know how many conversations are we having with new versus existing customers, but I'm also segmenting it by, again, referrals and partnerships. And at the end of the day, I'm really looking to figure out how many of those are coming to us at what stage every month.
Sure. Thank you, Sherman, for inviting me. My name is Victor Gallego. I'm currently working at IBM. But from this discussion perspective, most recently I was Senior Vice President of Sales at Technology Integration Group, which recently got acquired by Converge back in July. It's actually almost a year now. So a lot of pertinent information, what I've learned, right, being there for 4 years, will help other partners like a TIG kind of learn what I've learned over those 4 years, and obviously touch points on my current responsibility at IBM.
With that being said, I think one of the first things to talk about really is differentiation. How did when you're working with the reps and giving them guidance, how did you differentiate yourself when going into other type of competitive situations?
From an AE perspective, obviously, they own a lot of the day-to-day with that particular customer. But I think the people in the background, which is really more of the technical architects and engineers, really help distinguish us from others, right? You heard the term defense wins Super Bowls, right?
Uh-huh.
Firms with great technical background, right? We're calling them engineers and architects, really win over the customers because, eye from eye, right? They know exactly what needs to happen from, an enterprise perspective. So I would say technical folks is what wins in the market space. So that's our defense.
If we're talking about net new customer acquisition, one of the things that a lot of people always ask is outbound sales versus inbound lead generation to acquire net new customers, right? Maybe start with just the answer to that, and then also, did your organization struggle with getting net new leads?
Yeah, I think everybody struggles because nowadays nobody picks up the phone, right? I mean, look at yourself. You basically reply to text faster than you do voicemails. So really, the digital marketing era is really the way to go. I would say, TIG and really what's happening at IBM in the forefront is going to be on hybrid approach, right? Where you're outbound, it's going to be the field sellers with their networks of contacts, right? Inbound is critical right now because that's really driving more of the digital, especially if you're in a smaller firm, right? A partner, you have to really partner up with third-party marketing firms to really help you with that lead generation. The reason is because, whether you're using Dun & Bradstreet or Zoom Info, could be really costly, right? You're talking up to $200,000, right? Really from a yearly license subscription perspective, you can't really scale as fast as they do since they could really pinpoint that line of business, whether it's the IT director or CIO.
Thanks everybody for coming to the Voice of the Microsoft Partner. Really appreciate it. Absolutely. It was a great one today. Come next month. Next month is Best and Worst Marketing Ideas. Talk to you guys later. Have a great afternoon, 4th of July. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.